Living with my boyfriend, M27, isn't as good fun as I, F25, thought it was going to be. I bought a house last year and we have just moved into the house a week ago. It's been an experience to say the least, and I've seen sides of him I really don't like, and he's making me anxious. He's grumpy and very dismissive, a lot more so when I ask him to something, which so far has been DIY. Which, if I knew how to do it, I would just do it myself to avoid the hassle. He makes a deal out of it, and it seems like everything is wrong or an issue with whatever it is I've asked him to do. These moods are really getting to me, to the point I told him he was being an asshole. Completely unlike me, I hate confrontation. But I've had enough and I'm not really sure what to do. There's still so much to get done in the house, and I'm actually scared to ask him, as I know it's just going to be a repeat. TLTR. My boyfriend is angry and passive when asked to do things around the house. Dating someone doesn't mean getting involved and then trying to hang on to the relationship at any cost. Dating is a period of evaluating someone as a partner. It's like an interview or an audition before you make a lifetime commitment. If he's totally bombing this audition, it's okay to let him go. Truly. You don't have to tie yourself for a lifetime to someone you've discovered that you're incompatible with. This is exactly why couples must live together before marriage. It gives you insight to the real them, and all of their habits, moods, quirks, etc. You're not married to him. Which may be a good thing, as this sounds like a learning lesson. Eye-opener for you. If it's not his house, he may be resentful of fixing his landlord's house. Even if that's not how you see it. Looking at your post history. Run. Isn't it obvious? It is better to find this out before you married him. Count your blessing. It may be that now that you've moved in together, and he thinks he has you where he wants you, he is showing you his true nature, because it will be hard for you to kick him out. You need to think long and hard about whether you want him to stay. Right now he doesn't have tenant rights, but he will after a month. It might be cheaper in the long run to hire a handyman for some of the work. Living together isn't going to work. Ask him to move out. This is what happens when you skip steps. It's late, but you need to backtrack and have the conversations now. Does he pay rent? Is he a tenant or co-owner? Tenants aren't expected to do house repairs. Certainly not renovations. Is his housework or rent buying equity in the house? Or is he just renting a room in your home? What rights does he have? How much say does he get in what gets done? How much, if any, is his space? Money vs chores. Who's bringing what to the table? Is he paying more than he feels is his share? Is he a freeloading bum who neither pays bills nor cleans house? Do you want a house husband? A bill-paying working partner? Or a mix of both? What is his natural state of clean vs yours? If you haven't kicked him out yet, move on to in-laws. Expectations regarding end-of-life care, holiday visits, child-rearing help. If tragedy strikes, who's allowed to move in with you, under what conditions? Children, styles of parenting, abortion, schools, nanny vs stay-at-home parent. Who raises the kids if you both die? Religion, yes, no. Whose? Family obligations, re-weddings, christenings, etc. etc. Is this house your final home? What about moving for care or advancement? Sell it or rent it out? Is this house a fixer-upper as a stepping stone to your dream home? Will he be paying into that one? If you break up, does any equity get returned to him? You guys need to have many, deep, hours-long conversations. You have no idea who someone is until you live with them. You are learning the truth about who you are dating. Here is a list of absolute musts. Write up a formal tenant agreement. He needs to agree to either do X renovations on Y schedule or he needs to pay rent. He will be equally responsible for household upkeep and cleaning responsibilities, etc. Create a responsibilities chart. Have it clearly written and signed by both of you. Don't just tell him what to do. Ask him to pick from a list of chores, responsibilities, and each of you choose half of the list. Have a conversation about how to communicate respectfully. He is not just your lover now. He is your tenant. Soft tasks. Look up YouTube videos to see how to do a lot of DIY projects. Be honest with yourself when it is time to call on the pros and hire a licensed tradesman. Seriously consider if you want him as a roommate. Right now, if he doesn't have tenancy, you can ask him to leave without involving the courts. Now is the easiest time to back out. This isn't a great start. How long have you been together? This is exactly why they tell you to live with someone before marrying them. Some people just can't cohabitation peacefully and don't mesh in that way. And that's better to know now than when you're married. I'd advise trying to figure out where communication broke down and try to address that, as well as having a talk about how the two of you would like problems in your home to be addressed. But if that doesn't work, then now you know that you two can't live together. What kinds of things are you asking him to do? Who is paying the mortgage and utilities? Asking him to do things around the house could mean anything from asking him to pitch in a little bit on the dishes to full-on remodels, renovations. It's going to be impossible for anyone to meaningfully weigh in on this without the details. Based on your post, it's totally unclear if BF is having hissy fits over being asked to do basic household chores, or if he is totally reasonably declining to be repeatedly ordered to do complex and time-consuming construction-related projects that he doesn't want to do. Based on the info in your post, it could be either or anything in between. In one of your comments you mention the dishes, but in your main post you mention DIY things. So there is still no meaningful info on what you are asking of him. And potentially just as importantly, how often you are asking. People really do need some time living together to see if they work as a couple. Everyone can showcase their best side twice a week. After all, it's harder to do that at 7:30 a.m. when you're running late for work and there's no milk left for coffee, etc. Tell him how you're feeling, and if nothing changes, well, now you know. When you live with someone, that's when you really get to know them. Not the nice temporary side that you see on dates. You will see how they act in terms of being responsible, running errands, chores, etc. Be prepared, as this is only the beginning and he's acting this way. I don't think any talking with this guy is going to change him if this is how he is. This guy is not material for a serious long-term relationship, marriage it seems. And this is why we live with people before marriage. You never know a person until you have been around them 24/7 and 365. I've been married 25 years and still am learning new stuff about my husband. It is a really bad sign that you are scared to ask him anything after 1 week if living together. Do you still want to live with him? Or you are scared to ask him to move out? If you want him to move out, give him the day before 30 days pass to do it. Have a conversation with someone else in the house, preferably male. You can still date after if you both want to. Just live separately. If you want to try to work it out, read about tenancy in your country, state. Talk with someone knowledgeable about it. You might need a landlord-tenant contract with him. Protect yourself. If he establishes residence in your house, usually 30 days, you will have very hard time to get rid of him. And definitely talk to him about fair division of all the daily chores. Finances. Separate. Joined. Who pays for the emergency repairs? Utilities. Food. Repairs, are they DIY? Who pays for them, etc.? What happens if one of you loses their job? But really, if you are already afraid to talk to him, think twice before giving him a second chance. I bought a house last year and we have just moved into the house a week ago. Just need some potential relevant information. What's the point? Is the house yours that you bought and you had him move in with you and are now having him work on? For you, not with you. I'm majorly assuming here, but I'm assuming there's a lot of resentment from him. His feeling, while, I hate to say, valid, are completely unwarranted if he's living in your house rent-free and only being asked to do some house repair work. Is this something that you communicated and agreed upon with him before letting this potential future squatter move into your home? Also, please tell me you signed a tenant agreement with this man. Girl, you bought a house. First off, all congratulations. Second, have you considered learning how to take care of your house, do your own DIY? It's really fun and can give you a great sense of accomplishment. Everything is figure-outable. I find that partnership is important. If the house you bought needs work, and especially a lot if it, I imagine it might be rather damaging to your relationship to put it all on him. Perhaps do a small project yourself to start? YouTube can teach you a lot and Lowe's has a bunch of DIY classes you can sign up for. His attitude and lack of emotional intelligence, communication skills is a whole other issue. Maybe try couples counseling to better learn how to work with each other. Best be of luck and I hope you have fun with your new house. Why is he fixing up your house? Seems like something he doesn't want to do and I don't blame him. This is exactly why I always recommend living with someone prior to getting engaged, married. The person you see on dates, sleepovers may well not be the same person who you live with. If it is new, then there may be a small adjustment period and maybe some residual stress. But if you think you are actually seeing the real him for the first time, then it is probably a sign of incompatibility. Keep in mind that he is having the same experience living with you for the first time and may have discovered some things about you that he didn't realize and doesn't like, which are leading to the poor attitude and behavior. Doesn't excuse it and the result is the same. However, treat this time as a test of your compatibility, and if it isn't good enough, act on it. This is exactly why we date in the first place. But too many of us have ignored and tolerated the small but obvious issues that only get worse over time and lead to the same result, just in a much more difficult way. If it is a big enough issue that you are on Reddit asking for advice, it is not a small issue. Unless you genuinely believe it is out of character and temporary. Be wary with that line of thought though, because temporary very easily morphs into permanent.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.